I'm going to tell you about the dark and deadly side of herbal medicines, along with the types of fraud and scams that target people when they're at their lowest and desperately seeking help. Hi everyone, welcome to Planet Juju. If you or someone you love has ever been struck down by cancer or a chronic condition, then you'll understand how difficult it can be to find a medical intervention that works quickly. Finding natural remedies that might help tip the balance back into health can often persuade people to try things that they normally wouldn't if they weren't so desperate. Now, I know there are plenty of plants out there that are used to treat ailments, and please don't get me wrong here, I'm by no means knocking plant chemicals that have been proven by scientific research. Where would we be without aspirin from willow and the cancer drug paclitaxel from yew? But where products are made without proper quality control, are unlicensed and sold online or in health food shops and taken without supervision, herbal medicines and other remedies can be really, really dangerous, even lethal. This isn't just a hypothetical warning. I'm going to tell you what happened to a couple of friends. Maria, a dear friend who's no longer here, had inoperable cancer, and along with her prescribed medications, she tried all sorts of remedies, including travelling all the way to Cuba for blue scorpion venom treatment. But she almost cut short her life on her own by eating a handful of apricot kernels which she'd bought from her local health food store for several days in a row, thinking if she ate more, the supposed health benefits would be greater. She complained to me that she was dizzy, weak and disorientated, not realising that the apricot kernels could be the culprit. Luckily, I knew about their link with cyanide poisoning and the warnings not to eat more than 2 a day, and begged her to stop immediately. Maria did return to normal after a day or two, thankfully, but it could have been much worse if she'd not said anything. I'm really surprised that these are still being sold in quantity here in the UK at least. Cancer support organisations and charities say there isn't enough reliable scientific evidence to use herbal remedies as cancer treatments, and they might have their own side effects and adversely interact with other medicines, making the side effects of those worse, and some can make cancer treatment less effective, and that's not just medication. For example, mint has been shown to protect the body from radiation, so radiotherapy won't work as well in combination with, say, mint teas or minty sweets. Another friend ended up being blue lighted to hospital after ingesting a high-strength herb paste she'd bought online. She became really thirsty and then drank too much water too fast and collapsed with low blood sodium. It was so life-threatening, even though she's a great advocate of natural therapies, after that she vowed never to use it again. So even with products that are what they say they are, you have to be careful. But there are several regular types of fraud related to herbal medicine too, which can be equally lethal. Herbal medicines can be substituted by counterfeits or adulterated by adding inferior materials, chemical compounds or foreign matter either during production or before resale. I recently saw a meme which suggested a good way of making money was to think of a bodily function and then to add the element of shame. And that's why I think so many fake and adulterated products are found in the field of slimming and bodybuilding supplements and male performance and fertility. Maybe people would rather buy them online than go and see a doctor, or reveal face to face that they find their own body shape or functions shameful. Here's an example of a herbal supplement for male performance I found on Amazon. It's being sold by BRN Factory and looks very similar to another type of blue pill called sildenafil that's available by prescription or over the counter at a pharmacy here in the UK. Now, if that's not misleading in itself, A website called FakeSpot has used AI to analyse BRN's products and concluded that out of 4,130 reviews, 60% of them were unreliable. That's probably generated by bots. This selection of one-star reviews says it all. Fake, con, waste of money. The product's made by Vox Pharmaceutica, and in 2019 a health warning was issued by the Israeli government about Vox-branded products, following a life-threatening hospitalisation after taking a supplement that was laced with a drug used to treat thyroid conditions. Even if you buy sports protein shakes from reputable shops, on analysis, some of these have been found to contain illegal ingredients like testosterone that don't appear on the label. The UK government body, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, grants a traditional herbal registration for products it is assessed as safe and correctly manufactured, and all of the products listed on its website are marked with a THR logo. You should be safer using products marked with that THR logo, but the overarching recommendation is always to consult your doctor before taking anything and only buy from a licensed source. But as I mentioned before, desperate people may seek desperate solutions. They may also be more vulnerable to manipulation because of lack of sleep, feeling poorly or anxious, and having pain and brain fog that stops them thinking clearly. They may be seeking help or support in social media groups, and these can be infiltrated by scammers using fake profiles, especially if group admins are poor at recognising scammer profiles. A scammer calling himself Rodrigo Francisco joined one of my groups and left this comment: "Truly, natural remedies do work. If they didn't, we wouldn't have used them for thousands of years, and pharmaceutical companies wouldn't be studying plants, taking extracts of them and patenting them as drugs. This is not a claim or lies. I was cured from GERD acid reflux, and my wife was also cured from sarcoidosis by Dr. Ibhalu Herbal Medicine. In case you are having any health challenges, you can contact him and get cure too." And then there's a link to Dr. Ibhalu, so let's have a look at that. Well, they say they're in San Francisco, California, and they also give an email address, but one of their posts gives a WhatsApp number, and that number's prefix, +234, tells me where they're really based. Oh, what a surprise! And we can see that the page was originally called Liberian Girls and Boys Serious Relationship Group, so that might well be a hacked and stolen page too. Look at all the conditions he says he can cure in a post on Instagram. Astounding! Here's another comment with very similar wording that ended up on a friend's public post. Scammers have set up automatic searches for illnesses mentioned online just so that they can promote their fake herbalist pages. And while many of them are just that, fake pages that may just take payment for something that never arrives, there are other pages with so-called doctors who claim to cure ailments when we already know there isn't sufficient reliable scientific evidence to support that claim. There are people selling bottles of herbal medicines like these which look like a random collection of reused drink bottles. They're completely unlabelled, no ingredients testing, no quality or batch control, no toxicology report, no expiry date, no temperature control, stored in a shed, and maybe made with terrible quality impure water that's going to make someone very sick all by itself, and that's before the effects of whatever's in them. Why would anyone think that ingesting something like this is safe? The guy who posted these on his page says he has a master's degree in microbiology. Firstly, that doesn't make him a doctor, and secondly, that doesn't qualify him to be a herbalist. I did find a business registration for Quacko Herbal Laboratory, Ibadan, Nigeria, and the address on that is somewhere around here. So very sanitary. Microbial contamination is common amongst these concoctions. These, along with poor control of chemical contaminants, are responsible for alarming numbers of poisonings and fatalities. The use of herbal remedies and traditional medicine is so widespread in Africa, though, that its use and integration into general health care is actually encouraged by the World Health Organization, but this relies on proper regulation and much higher quality standards. There is a West African herbal pharmacopoeia, which makes interesting reading. I can't show it here because of copyright, but this is the URL to the PDF file. But I think it doesn't go far enough to control quality. Additionally, becoming over-reliant on herbs rather than seeking modern medical help can mean that proper diagnoses are delayed until illnesses are far more severe. This has a lot to do with how many African cultures are still intertwined with their spiritual beliefs. Illnesses that occur are blamed on spiritual attacks, and people calling themselves herbalists use various concoctions to make oils for all sorts of things, like banishing bad luck and spells put on someone, and making others do what you want, including attracting rich lovers, like these ones from Lusaka in Zambia. If people aren't careful, they can end up dealing with very scary individuals who call themselves spiritual herbalists, but are in fact conducting rituals to imbue a magical element into their concoctions. We'd call them witch doctors, but they're not medical doctors. When they start mentioning things like no human being for sacrifiers, meaning sacrifice, then you start realising that as well as slaughtering poor animals, there are indeed some very dangerous and evil herbalists who do actually kill people in their rituals. I've seen photos of these, but I'm going to spare you the gory pictures because it's not something you can easily unsee. However, my friend Babatunde, who makes videos for his channel Africa Every Day, talked about a ritual murder of someone he knew since childhood that was done for a herbalist last year, and he has allowed me to share this.
This tragic incident happened in my town, Uwude, South in Ogun State. On the 10th of November, that is last month, Muyiwa was actually my schoolmate for primary school and secondary school. We went to the same primary school and also the same secondary school. In fact, I personally know him. They took him to another of Abel's friend's farm, a farm in a very remote place, and there, to cut the story short, they slaughter him like cow. They cut off his head, cut off his 2 hands, and cut off his 2 legs. So after 2 days, the police arrested the Abel that they knew that it was that Abel, which was his friends, that took him out. So when he was interrogated after some time, he confessed to killing them. And when he was asked by the police that what did he want to do with this part of human beings, and he said there's a herbalist. The herbalist that was accused of sending them off, giving them the task to get a human head, 2 hands, and 2 legs. I personally know him.
Whatever your beliefs, I'm sure you'll agree that this indeed is the very darkest side of herbalism, and I certainly wouldn't want anyone's murder to be on my conscience for the sake of a cure. I hope you found this interesting. Please be aware of quacks and scammers selling snake oil. Do your research and use your scamming sense. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.
She had eyes like ice and a smile like a slice of sin. I was hypnotized at the very first sight, then the room